Welcome back to the Social Cycle Podcast, where we take a look at things affecting the Black community from a sociological and psychological point of view. I'm BOONIE, and I'm here with DAMIAN, BRENT, and VANJALYN, who is muted, but I'll be her narrator for this episode.
What's up, y'all?
What's going on, everybody?
How y'all doing? How y'all week been?
I've been busy lately.
Same.
When I say busy, but progression is positive, so I ain't mad at it.
Yeah, I've been busy too, trying to get this book together so I could publish it on Valentine's Day. I need to do I'm gonna do a commercial for this so I can promote it. But today we are going to talk about narcissism at the request of DAMIAN. But we did vote for it though. But excuse me. Narcissism has been a word that we've been hearing all over the place, especially on TikTok. Like, I try to kind of stay off of mental health TikTok sometimes, so I won't be self-diagnosing and diagnosing people because I have the tendency to do that. But basically, if you don't know, narcissism is excessive interest in or admiration of oneself and one's physical appearance. It's also selfishness involving a sense of entitlement, a lack of empathy, and a need for admiration as characterizing a personality type. It's also self-centeredness arising from failure to distinguish the self from external objects, either in very young babies or as a feature of mental disorder. And those are the psychology definitions of what a narcissist is. But we're going to jump right into the first segment with the first question. Are you or anyone you know narcissistic or has narcissistic tendencies?
Straight to it, huh?
Yep, straight to it. Van says she knew a few that has, so have I. But do you guys or anybody y'all know had narcissistic tendencies? Maybe y'all didn't know at first, and then like, you know, maybe
with stuff, I definitely have had narcissistic tendencies, and I definitely know people close to me who I've learned these things from. So I have a real close experience with that.
got you. What made you realize that that's what it was in yourself? Because when we was talking about it, like I said, people who are narcissistic usually have a hard time, admitting it. Right. So like, when did it like click to you?
Just reading and building confidence. Like, as you build confidence and want confidence, you start to realize what non-confidence is, Not saying that narcissistic comes from a lack of confidence at all times, or that's always the reason why. But in a lot of cases it is. It does correlate with confidence sometimes. And by way of me working on those things and reading certain books, it's just, it's kind of eye-opening. Something you can't run away from. Especially in the form of, like you said, have you seen other people do it? Especially when you read books that make you look into your childhood, make you look into the people that you're around as far as friends and your environment and stuff like that. Especially when when you really get down to it, you really pay attention to it, then you start to realize, like, damn,
What about
I learned this, I learned this, that.
Got you. I'm trying to think. Do I feel like what about you, Brent?
While Damian was talking, I reflected back on somebody I used to date, and You know, I Googled 5 characteristics of a narcissist: inflated ego, lack of empathy, need for attention, repressed insecurities, few boundaries. Man, that fit that crazy motherfucker to a T. I was in a I was in a damn, I was in a nightmare with that, but I'll save that for story time.
I think all of us probably got a story time this time.
Oh yeah. So, but I can honestly sit back and say, I may have a little bit of those tendencies, but mine is more so I want everybody else to be kind of good and acknowledge, you know, my accomplishments and my achievements and stuff like that. You know, everybody wants praise, you know, for their hard work.
Yeah, I think everybody got narcissistic tendencies.
Me too. Me too. I definitely, I think the same thing.
Yeah, but I don't dismiss anyone else's achievements, or I don't have that sense of entitlement where I think I'm better than anybody. I've never done anything like that. That's not how I am. You know, that's basically, yeah, I know a couple of motherfuckers like that. Yeah.
Okay. And I know I'm very empathetic. Because, you know, I want grace. You know what I'm saying? And God give grace. So why wouldn't I have grace for others? That ain't mean I'm not gonna be hard on you if I can't, or teach you. If I can't teach you, I ain't gonna teach you. But I also I'm gonna have empathy for you. You know.
Van said she have narcissistic tendencies, and once she looked at why and where it came from, she did more research into it, and she felt relieved because she knew she wasn't crazy.
And yeah.
I think one big thing is that nobody mentions. I think it's being that I think everybody has those tendencies, not to speak for everybody, but I just think it's like a human thing, you know, that I think it's a borderline to when it turns into a bad thing.
It's levels to it for sure. You know, people who are apathetic, like they don't have empathy. I think empathy is what makes it, you know, heightens it. Like if you lack empathy, you're gonna have like severe narcissism. You're gonna have severe narcissistic tendencies.
Yeah, if you gotta win no matter what, it's just gonna be there.
Van said a lot of people use religion and trauma to try to push the title off them.
Yes, they do. They do. That term narcissistic and stuff like that is a word that has been used profoundly by fucking narcissists.
That's true, I think.
Every time and stuff like that, something traumatic happens to somebody, whether it be a breakup, whether it be this, whether it be that. Oh, that person was narcissistic. Oh, he did. And I'm like, okay, if you're the one that's constantly saying it, then you are actually speaking about you. That's how I feel. I can't sit back and speak for anyone else. I can only speak about me. But yeah, that seems to be a go-to word and stuff like that among narcissistic ass people. Oh, this person was narcissistic. Oh, this person was toxic. And
I think too is social media too, because we become aware of so many things, and so people do label things, which is why I kind of like try not to label things. The only way I would consider somebody to be narcissistic if I've seen like extreme, like it ain't no denying it or whatever. But
I feel Brent, though, because as soon as a girl start calling names and stuff like that, it make me look at her like, oh, we'll go, maybe maybe look at her weird. As soon as she start calling people names and stuff, now I start looking at you.
I definitely know people with it, and I feel like honestly, being honest, I'm looking at the thing. The only narcissistic tendency I have is perfectionism. Like I have the need to be
perfect,
for everything to be perfect. Everything I do, everything I touch, all of that. To just, and if it's not perfect, I'm gonna keep working on it until it is. But I feel like I realized that about myself coming out of my last relationship. So I've been working on it. And I feel like I've come a long way. Like, because if I didn't, all of the books that I've written, I wouldn't have never like published, because I wouldn't have been, satisfied with it. Like, it gotta be this, it gotta be that. And I also think having people around to kind of remind you, like, this is good. Like, what you do? Why you looking at it like that? Why you seeing it like that? Like, it's not really what you see. And I don't understand why you feel like that or whatever. Right. And I will say Van is one of those people that I feel has made me kind of come out of it.
Give you some room to talk it out. Give you some space to see yourself.
Right. And I do feel like I'm a little better, but I still got a lot of growing to do.
She challenges you.
Yeah. Or just be telling me it ain't that deep. Like, or girl, what you talking about?
Yeah. But see, that's what friends are for. Friends are supposed to be able to check each other and stuff like that when we're, right. Signs and stuff like that. There's something that can possibly be destructive.
How do you dip on this?
Have to fuss at her. Have to fuss at her. Hell,
she do sometimes. And I still be like, I don't care what she say. It is not this.
Man, you got two voices now. You got BOONIE, you got me. Because I miss you.
Okay, we can move on to the next segment. With the next question, which is the Hear Me Out segment. With the next question. How do you feel about the way the term has been used in social media culture? Just touched on that a little bit, Brent.
I don't like it. The reason why I don't like it is because it's just a go-to phrase now for everybody when something doesn't go right in their life, and it has no purpose or meaning and stuff like that about it. Like, two words that I can't stand on social media anymore: narcissist and toxic. That person was toxic. This person was this person was that. And I'm like, man, shut the fuck up. Like, shut the fuck up. But I applaud BOONIE and Van for like showing me how to do that algorithm thing where I could change what it is I view and what it is I see. I don't see that shit no more. I don't even watch that shit no more. Anytime when I see somebody online now talking about their trauma, their this, man, I scroll past. You know why? Right. It's bullshit. I'm not saying that you not experience anything bad, but I hate when people try to contaminate the pool of everybody else with their bullshit.
Right.
Because people are really, people are gullible as hell when they hear and read shit and they don't really dig into what it is they're talking about. And I'm a victim of it.
And a lot of times people just be like, when you read the comments and to a lot of stuff, they just really be wanting somebody to validate what they already think. So you will see people gravitate toward that. It don't necessarily be dumb, like some gullible. It is a lot of gullible people, but at the same time, it be people who just already felt like that. And it's like, there's an excuse now. Like, I got an excuse for why this happened, why that happened, whatever. So they flock to it. Like, oh, you're right. I've been in this situation too. And this is what happened. And that person was narcissistic and stuff like that. I do feel like it's overused. I do. It kind of makes it less serious when it's like that.
I feel like you take away from the people who truly are narcissistic. Like
exactly.
You take away from that they use it so much.
Van said right, and like you stated earlier, the main ones that are toxic and narcissistic be the main ones making the complaint. But when you hear their explanation, it's like you are the toxic one. Real shit. I mean,
that's true.
I got you, Van. I'm gonna read for you, girl.
That's true though, because like I said, I used to see people talking about it, but only thing I want to see on my social media is people in cosplay, people writing poems, people creating skits and short films and stuff like that. Stuff that I want to do. I don't really care about the other stuff. Not as much. I look at that stuff sometimes.
But I followed you in Van's advice and I changed my algorithm. All I see is food, cooking, guns.
Definitely food, because he's sending me all them food videos.
Families, black families having fun with each other. Just positive stuff. I'm done with the negative aspect. And, you know, unfortunately, I'm getting off the topic a little bit. I realized that I brought work home with me. So once I switched up my algorithm and stuff, you know, all that, you know, bulldog face and, you know, that professional bulldog face and stuff, man, I leave that shit where it is. I don't want that negative stuff, energy and vibe and stuff like that around me.
It
Well, you
honestly takes a lot to do that. So that's good because people aren't able to separate, you know, that person that like you got to be that person when you're at work. And then when you come home, you got to be you.
Right.
that made me think though. That made me think that people actually hurting though. That's why you seeing it so much too. Like on the flip, we hearing all this stuff, but on social media every day when I wake up, I'm like, well, it's a lot of people that hurting, boy, they need to get over some stuff. And I be ready for them to get over it, but at the same time, the reason why they calling these people narcissists because they done got done wrong though, for real. They be trying to figure it out.
For
And
sure.
name calling ain't a way, but it's just a reflection of how they feeling.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like because a lot of the times, especially in relationships, we get into these situations and we don't really know a lot. Like for instance, my last relationship, I didn't know a lot of the stuff I experienced. I never thought that people could be like that. I've never seen people be like that. So, and I didn't know at the time that they were narcissistic. I just knew that they had a lot of issues. And then later on you start reading and stuff about it, and I'm like, oh, this is what it was. Like, so yeah, some people are hurt. They do, and they're trying to find like a community of people to understand them and what they've been through.
That's okay.
I feel like it's cool, but at the same time,
but don't use it as a weapon.
It could be a crutch as well.
Don't use it as a weapon though. I understand how you feel. Talk about it. Discuss it with other people. But when it start becoming like, you know, a weapon, kind of like in the stuff, like that's why I don't like it. Like that, like how you said that. Now you start feeling like how Brent feel. Like, man, just shut up, man. God damn. Like, and then on another note, you do have all of these Instagram psychologists. I ain't gonna say Instagram psychologists because some of them are actual certified people that just got an Instagram page and a good following, know how to, you know, use Instagram right. But some of the stuff that you don't know who the real psychologist and who not, because everybody giving these advice towards these people.
Yeah, so, but them giving advice is also feeding their fucking ego too.
Yep. Especially when people feel like they could come to you about certain things. Like, I know that's something that I can do on social media, but I wouldn't because of that reason. Because I don't want to influence how somebody sees things. I feel like being like y'all was talking about earlier, being somebody that influences people is a serious thing. I don't think they take it serious. They because it's something that everybody is doing. It's just like, and people have been getting caught lying about a lot of the things that they've promoted and stuff like that. I feel like they should take it more serious. And for me, I couldn't do that because I wouldn't want, you know, to influence people in the wrong direction. Because sometimes you could think you're helping somebody and you're not.
Right.
You could just be validating the people who are really toxic or really narcissistic.
And you gaslighting them to continue with their bad behavior.
Exactly.
All you doing is gaslighting them to continue with their bad behavior. Like, when you call somebody out, like a narcissistic person out of their bullshit, but they cannot handle it. It's like they become so self-destructive and like Damian, y'all weren't here for the last episode, but like, yeah, that girl was crazy. She was crazy as bad shit, narcissistic than a motherfucker.
We ain't gonna say crazy because she did have a mental illness.
Narcissistic, definitely.
But she definitely was narcissistic.
And this on the show was?
No, we told it was a story time that I did. You gotta watch it. It was funny.
And Van just said, being a yes man, they don't like anything that's not praised. The ones closest to them get the worst treatment. You hit the nail on the head with that one, Van, for real, for real. Girl,
yeah, because in that situation, it was always, she was with everything. Like, we could have done something wrong and she would have been like, girl, you not wrong. They wrong, you right. I don't like friends like that. I want somebody to tell me when I'm wrong, like, that was wrong, you shouldn't have did that. I'll be doing that to my own mama. Like, I'll be like, Bruh, like in situations with her, my stepdad, and she say certain things, I'm like, you shouldn't have said that. Why would you say that to that man? Like, that's messed up. Like, I want people around that's gonna correct me, not somebody that's gonna be like, you're not wrong. There's no way I can never be wrong.
That
Right.
part. That part.
I love when people give me that room to be corrective with them. Like they give me the room to be like that, and I ain't gotta hold it back. I could just,
Right.
and they, even if they don't take none of my advice, just let me say it.
Yeah.
Me Evangelist now said, meanwhile, I'm like BOONIE, maybe you not right, kicking myself laughing.
Right.
But don't worry, girl. Go ahead and keep typing that scripture.
You ain't right.
Go ahead and keep
Sometimes
typing.
you do be wrong. People be wrong. And not even sometimes, most of the time we be wrong because we be having our own perceptions of things and we be wanting people to live up to that.
Right.
To those perceptions, those expectations.
I got the hand raised on that one because I'm guilty of that shit. Trust
Yeah,
me.
that's a fact. That's a fact.
Hey, but the beauty about it is this. See, not only is I like the fact that this podcast and stuff like that, you know, we're talking about having real conversations, but it's actually and stuff like that for me has become my form of therapy and therapeutic type events because I get the different perspectives of everyone else on things that I need to work on, and I like that. Like BOONIE said, Brent, you getting better. That made me, and that made, because I'm not as tense as I was. I'm not as high strung as I was.
As angry, because you was angry.
Yeah, I'm not as angry as I was. Man, I'm like water right now. I'm fluid.
That's good.
Bro.
It's
That's
over like water right now.
Hey, but Van, not only am I like water now, I put a little bit of like some high C punch in it, a little flavor pack. I'm good right now.
Look at she
I'm on it.
reacting, Brent. Look at the screen.
I see it. Yeah, so you know, when you have good people around you that are actually going to be in your best interest, you can never ever fail or go wrong in life.
Yeah, but people don't be wanting that. They be wanting people to validate them a lot of the times.
Right.
Even when they're wrong.
But see, those people and stuff like that who do that, their morality compass is all fucked up.
Yeah, people who really don't be caring about being better either. They just want to be.
Yeah, for sure. That's big. That's a big thing.
Well, we can move on to the next segment, the Let's Fix It segment, with the next question. How do you think we can tackle the issue of narcissism and how it affects our relationships?
You tell them narcissistic ass people who keep saying it all the time, they ain't shit, they full of shit and they wrong, call them out on their bullshit. Sometimes you gotta shame the devil. But that's my opinion about it. You know, at the time, you know, you might want to take a more laid back approach, I guess. Some people do that. Some people do that. How I am now, I don't hear that shit no more.
Brett Van say it can't be cured. They have to want to see and help themselves.
right. Because
yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I've dealt with people who been like narcissistic, and like when sometimes when they like coming back to trick me to be narcissistic or whatever, like I don't even be seeing it coming sometimes. You know, some of the times I don't be seeing it coming, but then I realize like, dang, they ain't changed none. Not even just a specific person, but like people who are like that. And I be like, dang, they coming to hurt me again. Like what I'm trying to say, I think is I realize like that people who are truly narcissistic, like they always trying to hurt you in some type of way. And I ain't realized that, like, dang, they trying to hurt me again. Like I'm thinking they coming back, they learn, like, or like something. But no,
and letting them back is the thing. That when you've been with them and you keep letting them back, that just make them get more powerful because they feel like they got you.
Yes. I'm like, damn. Now that's the thing. That's why I'm saying it's a delicate situation that we talking about, because y'all, if some people out there that really are narcissistic, that we gotta be on, like that we gotta you gotta be able to identify this stuff, because they gonna get you. You know what I mean? It is people like they gonna get you, and like that's why people talking about it so much.
It's actually kind of
but
scary.
You don't
it's scary, honestly.
Make it seem like, man, ain't nobody that, you know, But
But yes, it
but it,
is.
but it is though.
It
Van
is.
Van
And they
said,
again too. Like you probably got a weakness to this person. Like how Van said earlier, it's somebody close to you.
But it's
Like
the
that.
empathy though. That's what it is that draws you to them. It's the empathy. You have empathy for people, and empathy is always the thing I feel that kind of gets us in trouble a lot of the times, because you know how this person is, but you want to believe that they can change. You want to believe it. You want it to happen because you can see the potential, but they don't think nothing wrong with them. A lot of the time, narcissistic people don't think nothing is wrong with what they do, and it don't matter what they do. They don't think
And,
nothing wrong with it.
and they really trying to get you to think something wrong with you
Yeah,
you know?
that's how can make you think you crazy. You
Like
they definitely gonna flip it on you.
Van
Like you the
said,
one.
Van said it can't be cured. They have to want to see. They have to want to see and help themselves, but it can be prevented in how you raise and talk to children. I agree with Van on that.
yeah, you got to know. You got to know like
Yeah, you
how
gotta see those signs.
you got to know that somebody like that and they gonna be like that, and that how to ease off from them without even hyping them up to be on you even more.
A
You know
lot
what I'm
of
saying?
a lot of
It's
times
really a strategy.
you got no, for real. You gotta literally ghost people
You
like
got to
that,
know
or you
how.
gotta literally, like you said, strategize how to get away from them, because it
Yeah,
be that bad. And I always be thinking, why is it like that? Why are we so invested in them?
Because you said
because
earlier,
because you ain't realize you feeding off of it. They
not only
giving
that,
you.
not only that, but what you just said, potential.
Yeah. And also, like, people who like to fix problems, I figured out that that's how I am. When you present a problem to me,
Ooh.
I have to solve it. So that's how you get me on the hook.
You know what I think
That's
too?
how I was, because I'm trying
Something
to
just hit
come out
me.
of that. What?
They scared of what they don't know what to do with that person love. Like you say, they don't know what to do with that person love.
Yeah,
But
because
they
it can
still want
change.
it.
It can
But they
change
still
them.
want it. But they still want it. So that's what make them so narcissistic towards you. You know what I'm saying? Because they really don't know what they
Because you
scared of
got
your
that.
love.
Because they really vampires. They
They
energy
really right.
vampires. They feed off of that.
Right.
Draining
But
your
at
life
the same
force.
time, they wouldn't know what to do with it if they had it. Like even if, despite, they still wouldn't do right by it.
Van said what irritates her is how they flip things instead of acknowledge their own faults. Because in their eyes, they're perfect. Nothing is wrong with them. So, like, if you bring a problem to them, it has to be you. It's not me. Because ain't nothing wrong with me. Ain't nothing wrong with me over here, but it's you. If you're the one who call out the problem, you're the one who always bringing it up. It's you. And then you start looking at yourself like, maybe it is me.
Right,
Maybe I am
right,
the problem.
right. I can't wait for story time. You right.
I saw
But
something on social media that said, and this was before that it kicked into me, but this was recently, like actually, like it said, telling a narcissistic person your true feelings is like bleeding beside a shark.
they're gonna use it every time.
And that's why I'm telling y'all, like, I ain't had really. I like it didn't make sense to me, but it do. It makes sense to me now that they gonna
Yeah,
always
that's a
do bad.
weapon. They're
They
gonna
ain't gonna.
use
They
that
don't
as
know
a
they
weapon.
don't know how to treat you good. They scared of that or what that gonna be. They
I
scared to
really
be. What I'm trying to say is they scared to change. Like y'all saying, they scared to be true to to what
right.
you desire from them. But they still gotta lead you on if they can because they want that.
Yeah, they want that energy that you got. They're, like I said, energy vampires. But I think to tackle it, you just kind of have to be aware and not necessarily get caught up in the social media hype about it or whatever. You have to be aware of some of the things. And I do find a list of things that they have symptoms that narcissistic people have. And it says, have an unreasonably high sense of self-importance and require constant excessive admiration. So you always have to get them compliments. And when you don't, it's like, What's wrong with you? Why you not, they get in their feelings? Why you not telling me? Why you not admiring me? Why you not hyping me up, basically? And feel that they deserve privileges and special treatment, definitely. Expect to be recognized as superior even without achievements. Make achievements and talents seem bigger than they are. They be preoccupied with fantasies about success, power, brilliance, beauty, or the perfect mate.
Oh,
That's a good one too. Like the ones that try to turn you into
what
the
their
perfect,
idea of what they want you to be.
what they want you to be, because you have the flaws. So I gotta fix these flaws within you so you can be good for me. And they treat you like you basically a doll baby.
See, when you were saying them things, I'm thinking more like imagining to myself, not to doing it to a person. So that's why I'm kind of confused. See, that what was making me say that everybody kind of got the, because I'm thinking like in an imagination, if I'm gonna write something down as a goal, like I say, Brent, like if I'm going to write down my perfect woman, I'm gonna write the most biggest stuff I can.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess that's narcissistic of me. That's what I'm saying. I admit that. Like I want.
No, not necessarily.
I'm gonna write the big. If I want something for myself, I'm gonna write the biggest.
That's how I am too. I feel like I could do great things. Ain't nobody about to tell me that I can't.
Even if I can't get that girl,
I'm the same way.
That's the reason why I'm doing the push-ups and doing this or doing whatever, because I know when I get her, I gotta do it right when I get her.
But there's nothing wrong with writing down your idea of what your idea of how you want your life to be, because those are attainable and realistic expectations. But when you far exceed it and trying to get something that's perfect, that's when you lose me. And the reason why I'm saying that's where you lose me, because there's no such thing as perfection.
I see what you're saying. That's when you already in the action of dealing with somebody already.
Right.
Not writing nothing down. We with each other.
Right.
Type stuff. Don't be trying to write on stuff to change me.
Right. You can have your idea of what you want, but you don't change somebody that's
don't look at me and write down what you want to change.
Exactly. That's the problem.
You don't take my insecurities and use them
against me
to try to make me into something that you want me to be. That's the ultimate form of manipulation and abuse.
Van said there's a difference between confidence and being full of yourself. And you
full of shit, man.
You have to differentiate, because I think sometimes people that too, the arrogant, you need to humble yourself. I think that's overused too. So when anybody display any little bit of confidence, everybody thinks,
I want them to calm down.
Oh, you arrogant. You need to humble yourself. And it's like,
what? That ain't what got me here.
Like it's cool. Like confidence is a thing that people should have and people should be okay with. But being full of yourself is like they said, they make achievements and talents seem bigger than they are. So being full of yourself is making yourself seem bigger, more important than you actually are. Like just having these delusions that you're this and you're that, and nobody can mess with you because of that reason, when really you've done nothing to be any of those things.
I'm sorry, Boone.
Go ahead.
All right, Van, okay, what Boonie just said, I'm gonna restate what Van said. Van said there's a difference between confidence and being full of yourself. All right, let me break that down for viewers. This is confidence. Having the ability to influence other people to obtain and do great things. That's confidence and stuff. Like when you walk into a room, everybody can feel your presence of greatness. Everybody should be able to want to gravitate towards you, not in a bad way, but in a positive way and stuff like that, for them to, learn something, do something different. Case in point, I got put in a post that I wasn't real familiar with at my place of employment, but I'm so damn confident and a little cocky, I might add, that they gravitated towards me because nobody knew what they were doing, but I was learning on the fly. And my confidence and stuff like that was able to provide them with leadership. Now, when you're full of yourself, you're just a talker, you're not a doer.
Right.
Talk about what it is that you want to do, but you never actually put anything to full motion. You will tell other people what they should do, but you don't follow your own advice.
And then they boost themselves. They be boosting it. They exaggerate a lot of the things, and it's like, you ain't did none of that, or you aren't any of that.
And I think another line in it too. She said thin line between what now? Between
confidence and being fully yourself.
And I think another line is being obnoxious too. Like it's I think it's in some cases you gotta be fully yourself. You gotta be confident, but you ain't never gotta be obnoxious. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You ain't never gotta be obnoxious. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, I get you.
That's the line between that to me. Sometimes you be fully yourself and you gotta be confident as you can be.
Yeah, I think
But
confidence you should.
You ain't gotta be obnoxious.
Fans say they exaggerate everything in capital letters. They do. Everything is exaggerated.
Yes, they do.
I remember my ex. My ex, I ain't gonna get into a full story, but I remember he was like, yeah, my friends say I rap better than Kendrick Lamar. I was like, what? He said, yeah, like I'm better than him. And like he was so mad at me for saying that he wasn't. I was like, bro, you're not better than Kendrick Lamar. Like, you okay? You good? You ain't Kendrick Lamar though. He was so mad at me for saying that junk. But he would have a lot of people around him just like making him feel like that. Like he that nigga. Like nobody can touch me. I'm that nigga. I'm the best thing around King Street. He was really good at making people look at him and think that. Like even my own people, because I started to feel like they thought that nigga was better than me. Like, what's wrong with y'all?
Yeah.
Y'all supposed to be my people. Ben said a problem could be 100% because by them and they will 100%. A problem could 100% be caused by them and they will exaggerate the hell out of the situation to be a victim. If they were hurt, they'll say it was the worst thing and make up lies on the spot, but they're so charming to outsiders. Very charming. That's why I said they make people really look at them and tell like they that nigga. A lot of the times they untouchable and like I'm the best thing around here. Like I'm confident in myself, but I'm never thinking that I'm better than anybody or that I'm the best thing around here. I might think I'm a little smarter than people.
Yes, you do.
But I don't think I'm better than people.
No, you don't.
I might be like, you're a little dumb. But you know.
You quick to you quick to do that. Sometimes, like, I'm guilty of it because anytime she and I have like a conversation, when we have like those hour-long conversations, when she do this right here, I'm like, yeah, I don't know. I'm like, yeah, I don't know.
But yeah, I feel like that's a narcissistic tendency too. Thinking you smarter than everybody. I could definitely say that's one of them that I have. But it don't necessarily be like everybody. Like I feel like you can't keep up with me intellectually.
See, but yours is not arrogantly.
Right.
It's not arrogance at all. It's far from it. It's just like, okay, you said what you had to say. There's no depth to this. Why are we still talking?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like a broken record. Like why are you talking about the same thing over and over and over and over and over? And I
100%. It's a pet peeve.
Right. And I can honestly sit here and say that I was guilty of that.
Excuse me.
Definitely.
But the version that I envision and stuff like that for myself is going to far exceed the older version of what it is and stuff like that I expected of myself. You know, like I was one of those people that was cool with settling.
You know what? I'm proud of you this episode. You really digging deep for real. I'm serious. You really digging deep for real. I'm proud of you.
Oh, thank you, sweetheart. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Appreciate that.
Keep on digging.
Clap. Hey, Van, love you too, girl.
I wonder how you do. She got me wondering how you do all that.
Well, I mean,
it's at the bottom.
Yeah, it's right at the bottom. It's like
way behind. Okay, that's Van all in the chats. Okay.
Yeah. Right. Go ahead, Brent.
No, I'm good. I'm good.
Okay, so we can move to the next segment. which is the story time segment.
Let me start mine off first.
Do any of you have a story about a time you dated a narcissist or displayed narcissistic tendencies yourself in a relationship? You can go ahead, Brent.
My narcissistic tendency was with my college sweetheart. It wasn't her, it was me. Story time. I'm sorry, it hurt my voice when I try to go that low or high or something like that. But anyway, I didn't like the fact that when I was in college and stuff, I was dating this young lady. I was like 5, 6 years older than her. I didn't like the fact she didn't praise me and give me, you know, my flowers and stuff like that every time I did something for her. And she called me out on it one day and she says, "You're not doing this for my benefit, you're doing it for yours." And I had a moment to sit back and think, and I was like, you know what, she's right. And that caused a lot of strain in our relationship. You know, a lot of fighting, a lot of arguings and stuff. And she even admitted to me, she's married now, but she admitted to me and stuff like that, that she wasn't a good girlfriend. And I admitted to her that I wasn't a good boyfriend. We were puppy love, still trying to grow and figure things out. You know, that was my first real serious relationship. Everybody else was just something to do. But the woman who I thought that I was going to end up marrying, man, you know, that honeymoon phase, BOONIE already know every intimate detail of this, and some of that stuff I'm gonna keep from the camera and stuff. I can honestly admit that I was angry and mad with her a lot, and a lot of that had to do with how she was making me feel. Like when I'm telling you, like nothing I did for this woman was good enough, like I really mean that shit. Like I was so discouraged and stuff like that to even try to attempt to do anything else. Like when I started to work to appease her more, I realized then and there that that girl wasn't going to respect me because I basically became her bitch.
Woo.
I'm being real. Like, I basically became her bitch. And I knew right then and there that I had to get the hell out of this situation. One day she came home and I was at her place. By the way, I had my own spot. Everybody, I want nobody to move in with my I came home from work. I mean, like I had her house smelling immaculate. Everything folded, towels, everything. She got off from work, walks through the door. She goes room to room inspecting what the fuck I did. She literally went to her linen closet, opened her linen closet, and the towels and the washcloths were not folded the way that she wanted them to be folded. She unfolded all of them shit and did it herself. Right then and there, I stopped doing all of that shit. Like she wanted me to do husband type things for her, you know, while we were in a relationship. And I'm like, why am I going to continue doing this shit if it's not appreciated? Like I play dumb. Like, let me tell y'all something. I know how to do plumbing shit. I know how to do, you know, drywall stuff. I know how to do all of that shit. Real shit. My dad taught me how to do all of that stuff. I just didn't want to do it for her.
Right.
Not you tell her you ain't know how to do stuff.
But
So
look, even when it comes to washing her car, like I bought like the bucket stuff and all of that to wash the car, keep her and the keep her car clean and stuff like that. She had a black car and stuff like that. So, you know, you got to keep those cars stuff clean. Man, I ain't never touched that motherfucking bucket.
Van said that's how you have to be sometimes.
Right. The only time and stuff that I touched that bucket to wash her cars when I saw her doing it herself, I was like, all right, let me go out and help this little stupid motherfucker. I ain't gonna let her sit and watch the shit herself. But I wasn't perfect. You know, I had my flaws and all that type of stuff, but it took for me to get away from her and be with somebody who actually appreciated me for me to understand my worth and my value. You know, the best thing that girl ever did was cheat on me and break my heart to the point that I cried like a damn baby. And I thought I would never allow anybody and stuff like that to ever have this much power or control over me because truth be told, she was just doing what she was doing. I allowed it, so that's on me. But the beauty about it is and stuff like that, once I got into another relationship, because the one thing about me, once I'm done with you or done a relationship, I don't do that back and forth shit. That's over with.
Right.
I got into another relationship. This relationship was going good. But fortunately for me, she removed herself out of this relationship. And that was the most peaceful breakup I ever experienced ever in my whole entire life. But when you're dealing with narcissistic ass people, men or women, nothing you ever do for them is good enough. They want you to go above and beyond. Like this,
Right.
and I knew something. It was two things that told me I should have got rid of that damn girl. Besides the the expecting of me cleaning and stuff, she told me that it was okay for women to be abusive. Real shit. I can't make this up. I dead ass. When she told me that, I put it on Facebook. I don't know what she did, but she had the comment removed. She told me it was okay for women to be abusive. And the second thing is she said, Brent, I'm trying to mold you into the man I want you to be for me. Right then and there, I should have known I should have left this motherfucker alone.
And you know what? Her telling you that I'm the man that I want you to be for me. Like, who are you?
A goddamn fucking nobody.
Like, who are you? Like, right, as Van said, is she training you like you a puppy or something? Like, who are you?
But the thing about it, what made her frustrated with me is, yeah, I may listen, but I don't have to do what the fuck it is you tell me to do. I'm one of them guys and stuff like that. And I'm being honest, this is how I am in personality. If I see that you are actually putting in the effort to work on our relationship or make our relationship better, I'm going to do the same thing with you. But when I see this all directed towards me, I'm gonna get the fuck on. I ain't listening to nothing you saying. I'm not gonna respect you. I'm not doing none of that shit. But everything that happened to me in that relationship, it was caused upon me because I should have walked away when I saw all of those flags. Mm-hmm. But that's what we know. But she was narcissistic as a motherfucker.
Van says she's done the same. She stopped washing clothes, stopped doing words of affirmation, stopped cooking, just stopped going above and beyond. Yeah, sometimes you do got, it's like you gotta protest, you gotta go on strike a lot of sometimes. But I feel like this: if you ever have to do that in a relationship with somebody, to like stop doing the stuff, and it might not even be, I ain't gonna say stuff that you enjoy doing, but stuff that you're supposed to do, basically, you have to do that. You need to reevaluate that relationship.
Yeah, definitely.
And the thing about it is, like, the person who I'm speaking about, everybody knows stuff that we are dating and stuff like that, but nobody knows exactly who it is. The moment that this video goes out, stuff like that, I dare her ass and stuff like that to make a comment about something. I'll light her ass up like a Christmas tree in the damn comment section on social media. I ain't playing. The reason why I'm not playing with that and stuff like that.
She got access to you still?
Fuck no.
Oh, I'm talking about like is she blocked on any of your social media?
Man, look, that was over what, like 3 or 4 years ago.
I ain't got nobody.
But some narcissistic people, you have to do that because they're crazy.
She's not, let me put it to you like this. She ain't never tasted blood in her mouth before with a fist fight. I'm not talking about stuff like that. I'm talking about with just in general. Because let me tell you something, what I'm saying. No, this hear me out. Y'all ever notice that people who gotten into fights and stuff like that talk to certain people a certain kind of way? Like, I can't talk to Damon a certain kind of way because there might be some violence that comes along with that.
Right.
Some people
I understand what you're saying now.
Some people and stuff like that who never experienced those type of issues.
Got hit in their mouth before.
You're right. They ain't never got hit in their mouth. They ain't never tasted blood before.
All kind of ways.
So, she ain't confrontational like that at all now. She'll talk that big gangster shit, but she can't back it up. The motherfucker run, call the police on your ass in a minute. Trust me.
I can't stand people like that because I'm gonna fight you and you better not get me locked up.
Oh shit, I got met at the house with damn sheriff deputy. But that was on me though, because I threatened him. But it is what it is. It is what it is. But I'm healed.
What about you, Damian?
Okay.
What about you, Damian?
I'd be spaced. Yeah, I'd be spaced out. You gotta bring it about me again. But I'm ready.
Do you have a story time about a time you dated a narcissist or displayed narcissistic tendencies yourself in a relationship?
Definitely, because you're a product of your environment. You know what I mean? And especially in a relationship. I was just telling somebody this earlier, like, when you with somebody, they gonna rub off on you. Like, I ain't gonna say everything, but a lot of stuff they slang, what they listen to. You won't even, some of the stuff is subconscious You don't notice that that's your twin. You know what I'm saying? Like, so when y'all in the environment of love and war,
Dan said you could take on their whole personality.
Yep. When y'all playing tit for tat with each other, if they narcissist, you narcissistic. You know what I mean? So
because it's the only way you can survive that relationship sometimes.
You gotta be right there with them. So I've been narcissistic before. I can say it's nothing for me not to be that, and I identified that by, like how y'all said, by learning to have boundaries for myself. And what I'm saying is for myself to give boundaries and to receive boundaries, as far as me even knowing what a boundary was. When you have boundaries that stop you, that allow you, first of all, to dictate what you allow into your space, mentally and physically, you know, and a boundary is a reminder as to everything you went through and everything that you don't want to see again and don't want to go through again. So installing the boundaries keep you away from the narcissistic people. Once you identify that's what it is and that's what they doing to me, that's a boundary now. All right, I can't let them do this. I can't, like how I say, I didn't understand why people block people, but that's the capacity of who they are, and that's what they got to install in order to keep that thing away from them. Right. And that's basically like a block, boundary. That's what a block is, So it's like understanding boundaries is how I could identify, like, dang, this person narcissistic, or they got these tendencies, these narcissistic tendencies or whatever like that. And having boundaries, like what I mean, having boundaries for myself is what I allow myself to be as a man and what I'm shooting for as a man. If I'm going towards somebody, I got to treat them a certain way in order to receive that back.
Right.
In order to be a certain way, I got to only allow myself to be attracted to a certain type of woman to avoid being in that, you know what I mean, with somebody narcissistic. But I think, like I said before, narcissism, like I feel like I don't like saying stuff like this because people might like try to think it like I'm saying it to say something else. But I'm really saying it just as simple as this. I think every human got a narcissistic tendencies, man. And I like, especially if you in like an inflated sense of self and or stuff like that. I feel like it's a time and place for everything, and I feel like we gotta stop feeling like saying that for that, because there's so many people that's really like a shark in the water waiting on blood that gonna get you. You know what I'm saying? Narcissistic. You know what I mean? And those relationships, going back to the relationships, make me I realized that too, because it's this person that, like, everybody, we all got that person that we really got that love for. Like, we really feel like we got love for. Yeah. And if that's a person that's narcissistic towards you, you can see it, because if you're doing the change, if you're making the changes and you're installing boundaries and with everybody else, all these other relationships in your life, and things are getting better, but then this other person come and you can't really seem to do it with them, that's how you know, all right, this person's narcissistic, because they won't even allow me to put their boundaries in because they see me about to do it.
Right.
They feel that that's why they came back bothering me, because they see that I'm getting better.
Yep.
But you wouldn't see that because you would allow them to come in because y'all got that history. You know what I mean? You allow them to get closer because you thinking, oh shoot, they might be coming to change. Oh shit, But their boundary might be something that, they got to read this book so I could know they could understand me and what I did, the work I did. Right. So I want them to read this book because this is what helped me. And if a person really narcissistic, when you introduce that, you're going to see that they're going to shut that down. They're going to shut that down. You know what I'm saying? They're going to make it like, why I need to read this. That's the boundary that you got that make you see like, nah, this ain't for me. This they the same person. And even if that's something petty or something that seemed petty, but no,
you gotta pay attention to every single thing when it's dealing with them. So petty issues too, because it can get by you.
Oh, big time.
And it's just realizing that, dang, that's narcissistic, and choosing not to be that. And not especially not in a way that, like I mentioned earlier, that's obnoxious. I feel like it's a time and a place for everything. I feel like in some instances, I might have to be a little narcissistic. I might have to have my way in certain instances. I know me. I know in certain instances, in certain rooms, I want my way. Ain't no ifs, ands, and in betweens. And I ain't saying I know that I'm gonna wait. If it had to been a shoe on the other foot, I can do that for them.
Dan said that's a lot of energy.
I can do that for them too. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So if I feel like it's a situation where I feel like I gotta have my way, then that's just what it is. If it's narcissistic, then that's just what it is. Because I can allow somebody else to do the same thing.
Nah. See, when you said you got walking, you got to have it. Well, nah, that's protecting what it is you instinctively trying to protect.
No,
like,
I feel like sometimes.
Sometimes.
Yeah, I think having the need to have things your way it is narcissistic sometimes.
I border that line sometimes. I admit that. But I'm never obnoxious to me. I might be. I never, that's not my, I'm never trying to be obnoxious. I still want to be fair, but I know I can still border that line, put it like that.
I got you. I feel like everybody got narcissistic tendencies because we're human. Like, just like I feel like everybody's selfish, I feel like everybody is hypocritical. We all got a little bit of that, but it gets bad when it's like extreme, when it gets to the extreme, when you're an extremist or whatever, because humans, we gonna have bad things about us. But I'm finally gonna get into this story time. I'm trying to make it short. And honestly, it was two people because they were friends. But when we got out of high school, everybody was like getting on Facebook and stuff like that. When Facebook first came around or whatever. At first I was very like, I don't want to get on there because, you know, it's something new. I don't really know nothing about it. I don't want people to have that type of access to me. So I got friend requests from people, and one of the friend requests was from my ex. And you know how people like hop into your inbox and when they send you the friend request and they like, thank you for accepting my friend request, whatever, and you know, you look good, they giving you compliments and stuff like that. So he did that, but the conversation didn't go that far. I didn't really give him the energy back because and I think it was because I wasn't looking for nothing for real. So I ain't gave him the energy back. Yeah. So fast forward to a couple of, I think probably months later, his friend, I'm trying to remember if he had to get in my inbox because I don't think I talked to him nowhere else. He inboxed me, which I didn't know that they were friends because I don't know them. I didn't know them. This is my first time meeting both of them. So I started talking to his friend and we started talking to each other back and forth. And then eventually we started dating. And so like every time they would come around, every time he would come see me, his homeboy would be the first one that introduced himself to me. They would be together. And so like he used to bring them to him. Used to be together all the time, except when he would come to my house. And you know, we were just getting to know each other, and then we started. Then we got into a relationship. Like I don't remember how long it was that we were friends before. We probably not that long because he was very much, I like you. Let's get in this relationship or whatever. So it was that we got into it. And I was going to tech at the time. So he would come see me there, like before I would go to classes and stuff like that. And like I said, every time his homeboy would be with him, and then he would be like, because that was his ride. And then he would keep telling me like, I got a car now. Like I got a car, it's just broke. So my homeboy gotta come bring me. And I'm like, this nigga ain't got no car. Ain't no way. Like, like you always with your homeboy, you can't have a car. But eventually I did see his car. He when he came to see me, I think that was his first time coming to my house when he came to see me. So we was in a relationship and it was cool. But a lot of the time he would just talk about his homeboy a lot. It would be yeah, me and my homeboy, we both saw you, and like you really it was always me and my homeboy, like we think that you the baddest girl in King Street, like you so fine. Me and my homeboy this, me and my homeboy that, I'm like, at this point, I need to be talking to your homeboy because you keep talking about this nigga. At first,
Mhm.
I never paid him no attention. Like I didn't pay him no attention, but then when he started talking about him, now I'm looking like, all right, his homeboy. His homeboy like me. His homeboy think that I'm fine. Like, you know? And then he was a very like angry person for no reason. And even after like we got older and we talked about like how our relationship was or whatever, he still doesn't really understand why he was like that. But he was just angry. Like he would just get mad for no reason. And it started to like affect me physically. Like whenever he would call, I would get a headache, or I would feel bad or whatever. Like he was a lot. He was a lot to deal with. This is my first time dealing with somebody like that. I'm coming from being in high school and all of the dudes treated me like I'm a princess or whatever, put me on a pedestal. So I never had experiences with guys like that. Now he wasn't
Yeah,
disrespectful to me. He wasn't treating me bad or nothing like
but
that.
that
He was angry. He was so angry all the time about anything, any little thing. I remember we was like play fighting one time, and then I stopped because I got tired. You know, you got sickle cell, you overexertion.
he
He
breaks.
got exactly. He got mad, like literally had a temper tantrum. Get up. Why you not talking to me? Whatever. And I'm like, nigga, what you talking about? We just chilling. We sitting here watching TV. And he just got up and just like went out the door and like slammed the door behind him. A whole temper tantrum in my house. And so it would be stuff like that. And then eventually I just kind of got tired of him and I broke up with him. So fast forward
Boy.
to the home to like, we on Facebook or whatever.
Yeah,
And
tell me how you got to the homeboy.
his homeboy started like commenting under my pictures and stuff. Or like you think you like he would just like be jokey toward me. I feel like everybody who knows me, the way that I flirt is by like jinking people. Like I'm gonna treat you like I'm a nigga. Like I'm gonna talk to you like I'm a nigga. We gonna go back and forth. So he would do that under my pictures. And eventually, I think he inboxed me and we started talking in the inbox. And then I gave him my number. But after that, me and him was like cool. We would be friends or whatever. We wasn't in a relationship, but we was friends or whatever. He would come see me. We would, you know how when back then when you was younger, you go outside. Like he would pull up and I would go outside and we would just be talking in the yard or whatever. And then eventually, I started catching feelings for him, but at the same time, I didn't know that I had feelings for him.
How you ain't know?
Because a lot of the times I don't when I have feelings for somebody. But when I do realize it, I'm gonna let you know. But I think the reason why was because we wasn't together and I didn't want to have feelings for him, but I did. So I was like denying, basically. Bad said it was time for the next. It was because he was doing too much. But so like I started catching feelings for him or whatever. And then relationship stuff, we back and forth or whatever. So eventually we started having sex because we did that before we got to a relationship. And of course I would say a virgin. Like I wasn't a virgin because I did have sex with his homeboy, so he was my first. The homeboy was my first
plan, by the way.
Huh?
That was the whole plan.
What, for him to have sex with me?
Hey, bro. One of them like, bro, I know you like her, but I gotta see, bro. I don't care, bro.
They never had that conversation because we
don't get into them too.
Yeah,
but I ain't saying it was it's just.
Nah, you right.
One of them just knew that if it come down to it, bro, I'm gonna cross you out to see by her.
The second one did, yeah. He did.
That's what I'm saying. Like they probably ain't said it to each other. Somebody knew they would have to do some crossing.
The second one definitely. But so yeah, we started having sex or whatever. Like I said, he wasn't my first, but I was inexperienced. But I've had sexual experiences with dudes, but it never got to, It never got to intercourse for real.
Oh,
So this is new. Oh no, matter of fact, I always forget this nigga. I did have sex with somebody between them. Like I feel like this was my whole phase moment where I was just because I was 18.
It was that bad.
Yeah, I always do. Like I always forget about him. But yeah, it was terrible. So it was like, yeah, I did. But so okay, yeah, I was 18. See, I always tell y'all about my mama telling me to wait for sex until I was like 18. So I'm hyped about it. When I say 18, I'm like, okay, I'm 18. I want these experiences. Like I want to see what it was. And then like I had sexual experiences with people that I thought would have known what they were doing, and they just kept failing. They were terrible. And then in comes this other dude who I had a good sexual experience with. So it's like, okay, sex, this is how it's supposed to be. Right. And I think it really was because we had sexual chemistry and I was actually sexually attracted to him. But I wasn't the other dudes. Right. We had the chemistry. So yeah, it was that at first, just us having sex and like us just being, I guess you could say, a situationship. But the thing about me is after I've done something for a little while, it gets boring. So sex started to get boring to me. And I probably had sex with him a few times and I was like, all right, what next? Yeah. What's after this? And we ended up getting into a relationship eventually, but it took a while. Like we was friends for years and I wouldn't have sex with him, of course. Like I would every now and then, but it wasn't consistent because we wasn't together. But then
that's the type of person you are. You rather be in a relationship than having intercourse consistently.
Exactly. Like okay. If I ain't with you, it's gonna be hard for me to do that back and forth because I don't know what you're doing outside of me.
Right.
But we in this it's a situationship because it wasn't a relationship. Like he would come, by this time he's coming and he's interacting with my family and stuff like that. Because at first we would just be outside talking. Now he's coming in the house, he interacted with my family and stuff. He getting acquainted with everybody. And then, but we still wasn't in a relationship. I can't say really what happened. It was a blur because it was a lot with that situation.
You sound like a lot.
But I'll say fast forward, me and him ended up stopped talking for whatever. I don't even remember. I think it had to do with a girl though. I can't say he was cheating on me because we wasn't together. Yeah. But I think it had to do with a girl. So I stopped talking to him for a while and I started dating somebody else. And I dated this other dude for a couple of months. I'll say no more than 6 months I dated him. But after we broke up, I still didn't start talking to the other dude. So while we were on this break, he ended up getting somebody pregnant. And he told me about it. Like after she was a couple of months, he was like, you know, I'm having a baby or whatever. And I'm like, why are you telling me that? Like, I'm not your girlfriend. Like, okay, like what you want me to say?
How you felt with that? Honestly, yes.
I didn't really care because at this time we was never in a relationship. Now if we was together and that happened, or if we was in a relationship and we broke up and that happened, it would have been different. But I will say this, because he got somebody pregnant while we were like in a situationship, because we was off during that time, but still we was back and forth. Right. But because of that, I do feel like I definitely lost respect for him.
Right. Did you lose interest?
I didn't lose interest because he seemed responsible when it came to like being a father, when it came to being a dad. But I feel like I would have lost interest if he wasn't. Like if he
sexual interest, like did you
sex? Oh yeah, I stopped having sex with him.
You ain't never want to let him hit it no more after that?
I stopped having sex with him for a while, and you know, we're about to get into it. But yeah, I did stop having sex with him, and we would have sex, but it wouldn't be consistent. Like I've known him for I'll say like 6-7 years. I probably had sex with him like 12 times in all of those years. That's a lot to me, but
that is a lot because I remember when I like it like when you at the beginning of a stage, y'all can probably do it like every day almost. Like when you really like in that you say 18?
I was 18, 19, yeah.
Bro, I used to, bro, and how, like, I used to almost have sex like every day, no cap.
I have never had that. Like, I would do it and then I would like I wouldn't be interested for a long time, and then I would do it again, and then I wouldn't be interested.
The girl, as soon as they get not interested, I got another girl who will give me. Waiting to give me some.
I'm pretty sure he did too, but like I just wasn't consistent. I'll say that. But we go fast forward. We finally in a relationship, and like I don't know, no, before that, because I feel like he was showing me like it was red flags or whatever. Like, for instance, whenever like I would break up with him, sometimes he would refuse to kind of like stop contacting me. He would refuse, and sometimes he wouldn't have a choice because he didn't have a phone and stuff like that. Like, we used to email each other, we used to write letters to each other, we used to send cards and stuff like that because he ain't really had it like that. So I was trying to like, still be supportive. And he ain't got no money like that, but I'm not gonna stop talking to you just because you don't have these things.
Right. That make you feel bad.
Right. So it was that, like, we would communicate like that, but he what the heck did we used to argue about a lot? It would be a lot of, okay, so when we got into a relationship, it was we weren't spending really a lot of time together. Like, we went from spending time when we wasn't together, he always trying to come see me, and then now we're together. I think that was our main problem. Like, I would tell him, I just want one day out of the week. I just want one day from you. And he could never do that. It would just be a couple of hours, and then he he going. So that was an issue, one of our issues.
That's a red flag now.
That we will argue about, exactly. And we will also argue about, I don't think the girl thing, like, we did have, I think it was twice that I got into it with him about a girl. So it wasn't even really that. Like, I remember a situation where my brother came and told me that he saw him with a girl, and I was like, it was probably his baby mama. I didn't really care. Like, I ain't gonna lie, when I was younger, it was a lot of stuff that I really didn't care about. But we would just have issues about our relationship, and he would do certain things. Like, I wouldn't want to be around him. He would just pop up at my house. I would tell my family, like, if he come, I don't want to see him.
Oh my God. You tell your family that?
Yeah, so if he come by, don't open the door. I don't want to see him. We not together. They would still do it though. They would still let him come in. I would still have to deal with him, even though I didn't want to. Like, he just was doing a lot of stuff that I felt was weird. And like, I would talk to them about it, and they would make it seem like it wasn't that big a deal.
Right. They like, happy girl, you got a man behind you.
Right. And then you give a man a hard time. People was always telling me that, like, you give him such a hard time. And I'm like, no, I'm not. Like, I'm setting boundaries, and he's breaking those boundaries that I'm setting. He's not listening to me. Like, and it was just, the whole time I was with him, a lot of back and forth about us not being in a relationship. That was one of the problems before we got together. Then one of the issues was his friend not knowing that we were together. That was one of the biggest issues. So when we got into the serious relationship, it was because I gave him an ultimatum. I told him, I was like, either you tell your homeboy what's up, or I'm not gonna talk to you no more. They had the conversation. I'm sure he lied. Yeah. Because his homeboy told me that he did. But I talked to him, and he was hurt. And at the time, I didn't understand, because we wasn't together that long. We was together for like 3 months. And like, it wasn't a good relationship. So I didn't really understand why he was so hurt. I get it, that's his friend. Plus, I was a girl that he like wanted to marry or whatever. Like, he wanted me to be his wife or whatever. I get that point. But back then, I was just like, but you didn't act like you liked me like that. Like, you were just always so angry, so mean. And so like, he never even gave me a chance to fall in love with him. Like, it was just always anger. And I ain't did nothing to you. So like, how can I deal with that? But like I said, we talked about all of this stuff years later and kind of cleared it up. But at the same time, we not on speaking terms for real, because he still kind of like stuck on, I want to be with you. So I had to stop talking to him. but because it was obsessive.
Think of him though, is that him being narcissistic that he want to be with you and still calling you? And
You
because
think?
I've been like that before.
He probably, I feel like both of them were narcissistic. I feel like they were pretty much the same person, except he wasn't disrespectful to me. He never even cursed around me. He was never like disrespectful, but his homeboy was, and we would get in like arguments, and like he would like over the phone and through text, he would be so like rude and stuff. But then when we face to face, it's like none of that. None, you ain't talking to me crazy, nothing. And I just used to be like, what is that? Like, why is he like when he gets in my face, it's a different story. It's like nothing happened. The argument never happened. He never said a lot of the stuff that he said to me or whatever. And I didn't get it. And I think a lot of the reason why I stayed with him, it was a lot of reasons. So a lot of the reason why I stayed with him was because I wanted to figure him out.
Yeah.
It was weird to me. Like, I want to figure him out. Like, why does he do this? Why does he do that? Why does he act like that when I do this or whatever?
They ain't that bring my mind.
Like, I really wanted to figure him out. Like, I would ask him questions. And we had an incident where an incident that I said was an incident where one night I think he texted me and he told me he wanted to come see me, and he asked me to have sex with him, and I didn't. I told him no, I didn't want to. I wasn't going to do it because we ain't together. I'm not having sex with you.
Drive by whenever you want.
Exactly. So I told him no before he came. When he got here, he still kept trying or whatever. So I'll say,
if you pull up, oh shit, that mean you.
Yeah, he came like he really was crazy. He came by.
I used to think too. You gonna actually you saying no, but if you let me pull up on you, that mean you just dare my dream. I ain't saying that what y'all meant, but that's how I'm taking it.
I think a lot of guys take it like that, but I like when I say no, I really mean that. I know it's some women who want you to chase them, but I'm not like that. Right. If I want to have sex with you, you gonna know.
I think all y'all really mean no. I just think some of y'all will fold with some pressure. That's all it is. And sometimes even the ones that will fold ain't gonna fold sometimes. Like they really mean no. But some girls, you just know they probably mean no, but they not.
Van said, why add pressure? And right, that was the thing. He kept pushing it. And then it was definitely rape.
Because you got a different type of girl.
Because if I say no and you keep trying to have sex with me, or you try to convince me, or you try to talk me into it, that's rape.
Yeah.
And that's definitely what happened. But that
not when you 18 though. I ain't gonna say that's not raping. I'm just saying
we was definitely older than 18. I was like in my 20s by this time.
Some girls like they don't really mean no.
But that's what I'm saying. There are some women who want you to chase them, but I'm not that. And I feel like you gonna know if I want to have sex with you or not. I'm not, you ain't gotta guess. I'm not gonna like hold it. Van said no should be a no, and that'll be safe for both parties to take the no and leave it. And I agree, like it should. If I say no, but it definitely. What you said, Damian?
I say definitely.
Yeah, like it definitely was rape, but like I said, at the time, I put all the blame on me. Like I said no, why did I let him do it? Whatever, why I didn't stick to that no or whatever. And it was a situation that bothered me, but at the same time, I got over it because of course, when something like that happens, you blame yourself because you really don't want to deal with the emotional part, psychological part of that. So that's what happened. And I just was like, it was an accident, basically. Yeah, we moved on from that situation or whatever. I don't even think I brought it up to him or talked to him about it, but I think I talked to one of my friends about it, or whatever, and like her response wasn't what it should have been. But anyways, moving on. Like it just was a situation that was toxic. It was definitely toxic. It was back and forth. It was a lot of him being charming to a lot of people, including my family, and me like seeing issues and bringing it up and them not really seeing it as an issue.
Yes.
So, and like I said, I stayed in a relationship with him for a lot of reasons. One was because I wanted to figure him out. Two, I didn't have any friends. I'm gonna be real. I ain't had nobody really outside of my family, so it was him. I was
Yeah.
going through a lot during that time too, figuring myself out when it came to like what I wanted to believe in, when it came to religion, stuff like that. When it came, because there was this
Visions.
thing with us and like religion, the Bible. He would always talk about, he Christian and he believed in the Bible, and I would bring stuff up like, if you believe in the Bible, why do you do this? It says don't do this. Why would you do this if this is what you believe? And his response will always be, I'm not perfect. I'm not perfect. So, but you're intentionally doing it if you know it's wrong.
Right.
And you shouldn't do it. So that was always a thing with us. And
you knew that y'all were gonna conflict in.
I started to question religion basically then, because a lot of the things that I would read in the Bible or whatever, kind of like when I would be in certain situations, would be kind of like, forgive, give them another chance, forgive, move on, whatever. And it was conflicting. I'm like, but if this person did this to me, why do I gotta forgive them? Why I gotta do this? Why I gotta do that or whatever? So that was a lot of stuff that was going in my head and then there was sexuality, my sexuality and what I identified with, what did I like? Was I really living, being who I am and stuff like that? It was a lot of stuff that I did share with him. I'll say though, when it came to my sexuality, I'll say he did make me feel bad about it. And he was very much homophobic.
Right.
On both sides, whether it was two women or whether it was two men. Like, he just was like, nah.
Got to grow to it, because I was like that too. I ain't gonna say I was ever homophobe or to that nature, but I definitely had my like, I'm against this, I'm against that, and I don't like this, I don't like that. If certain people come in the room, I'm gonna be uncomfortable. But it takes growth. It takes growth and understanding. You know what I'm saying? It takes growth and understanding.
I know I'm late to the party, and I know everybody. Oh my God, he had a wardrobe change. I'm just in here meal prepping, y'all. My bad. I had to switch out my white tee to my cooking shirt. But I was listening to what BOONIE was saying, and I heard what DAMIAN was saying, stuff about pressure. I've never put myself in situations and stuff like that with women and stuff like that to, have that line drawn where you're not sure of what is taking place and stuff. Like, I had to get a confirmation. Like, we doing this? We ain't doing this? You cool with this? Like, the women I've dated and stuff, all of them say the same thing. They got sick of me because I always kept asking, you sure? We good? Because no means no to me.
See, but y'all don't get what I'm saying. When I think
I actually understand what you're saying, because I think a lot of dudes think like that.
Like, smooth as fuck, and we from the country. Like, it ain't no like, I'm smooth, y'all. Like, it ain't no.
Right. No. I hear what you're saying. No, I know.
Raising the boy saying no to me. It's just body language. You know what I'm saying? So you might think that,
Right.
But my body language 100% gonna tell you that I don't want to have sex with you when I don't want to have sex with you.
Right.
My mouth say it, my body language say it, everything, my mood. You gonna know if I want to have sex with you.
No, I agree. No, I understand what both y'all are saying, but for me, when a woman tells me no, and I mean this for all of them, all right, like, I'm not gonna push the issue.
That's how it should be.
I'm not gonna press the issue. The reason I'm not gonna push the issue or press the issue and stuff, because it becomes very blurry if one party is satisfied and the other one is not satisfied, or if it's one of those things where somebody might become blurred about, did I give this person my consent?
Yeah, I ain't even there. If it's like, I'm not even there. If it's a no, I ain't even there. Like, I ain't, like, I feel like people who know me, they not, I'm not coming. They know, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, no, I agree with you 100%.
At 18, like, you ain't even gonna call me if you ain't trying to give me none. At 18, straight up.
I wasn't 18. I was in my 20s at that time. But even then, like
Even
if I say no,
you know your people. You get what I'm saying? Like you know your people. Like certain people, they not even gonna call me.
and going
You know,
by that,
got
he
to do all
knew.
that discussion and all of that. You know what I mean? Like
And going by that, he knew
you
me.
know for a fact.
I wasn't having sex with him. Wasn't having sex with him the majority of the time.
You know,
I
like
would
when
say
certain people call you, you get excited.
I
You-
wasn't one of them people.
You get excited, like oh shit.
Man said even at 18, it's the same. It's actually worse. LOL.
Yeah.
That's you. That's a you problem.
Because
Take it.
I've had guys say, "Oh, you ain't gonna tell me no type of thing. If we together, you should never tell me no." Like what? Like what? I
I
can't
feel
say
like
no that I don't want to have sex with you. And honestly, a lot of guys don't understand that when you say stuff like that, a woman is internalizing it. So even in situations where she don't really want to have sex with you, she gonna do it because you said that, because she know that if I don't do it, he ain't gonna want to talk to me, or he ain't gonna want to be with me no more, and stuff like that.
I don't
But
do. I've never done that because to me, like if nobody, like if she's not in the mood or I'm not in the mood, it's not gonna be good.
we ain't even gonna be around each other. We ain't in the mood. That's what I'm saying.
Right. But
that's
sometimes
not
some people try to
always
have
true
sex
though.
out of boredom.
Relationship. Y'all talking about relationships, like a relationship.
Yeah, a relationship.
Yeah. See, in a relationship, that's different. You know what I mean? I feel like, that's you got to deal with times where a person, you got to learn that person, and you're going to have to deal with times where they're not, sexually active and sexually attracted or whatever. But I
Most
was
of the
just,
time.
when we were saying about that, I'm thinking 18 years old, that's what I'm thinking about. And I wasn't thinking
Vance
about no relationship.
Vance said, "I'm thankful I haven't had that experience, because even if joking, if I say no, none have ever taken it further. If a person says no, it's no, nothing
I,
else."
I
And
ain't never, I ain't never been told no before.
you might have been told no, but
I
in a
never
different
told
type
no
of
in a
way.
relationship. In a relationship, I have been. That's what I'm saying. In a relationship now, yeah. But like just like coming up, growing up and stuff, I never been told no.
And see, I feel
I
like
ain't
okay,
asked. I never like asked either at the same time though. Not trying to, that's what I'm
never
trying to say. It's more of
ask.
a vibe. No, it's a vibe. It's a vibe. Like
This
girls,
is
they come on to you. Like girls be fresh, man. Y'all know
this
y'all
is
be fresh.
I've never been that girl. Like
So
in
so
a
how
sense, curious. Have I been curious? Have I ever like done things with dudes? Yeah, but at the same time,
so
most of
so
the
you ain't
dudes,
not into
most
you. So you ain't never had to like do something to let somebody know that what it is that get it. That's what I'm saying. Just that energy, like just get that energy off so he can make the move.
I'm not like that. If I want to have sex with you, it's more than just gonna be energy. Like I'm gonna initiate it. I'm gonna be
That's what I'm
expressive if
saying.
I want
Like
to have
that's what
sex.
I'm saying. So like, what you do to initiate it?
Whatever I gotta do, I kiss you, I touch on you, whatever it
That's what
is
I
that
mean
I'm
by
doing to
energy.
initiate.
That's what I mean by energy. That's what I mean.
Yeah, but if I'm not doing that, like it's a situation where we just chilling. And I'm telling you, okay, if you come over here, we just chilling. I'm not having sex. I say explicitly, and I
Yeah,
say it more than once.
I get
You
that.
shouldn't even try to have sex with me.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
also because he know that I'm not the girl that you hit up and be like, what you doing? I'm not, that's never been me.
Right.
Even in a relationship, I'm just not that girl. But Van said, if you had to apply pressure, you've been told no in some way. She
I
said,
ain't
if
never.
it's not an enthusiastic yes, it's a no. I'm
That's what I'm
different because I'll kiss you for
saying.
hours and not want sex. That too, because sometimes we just want to do
Intimate,
everything except have sex. Like
be
a lot of
intimate.
times women do that, and then like you get into situations where men just expect it to keep going because it's like why you started. It's like a you shouldn't have started type of thing. And a lot of times women will just go on with it for that reason.
You got to know you got to know who you dealing with.
But to get
I
back
have
to
been
the
told no.
story
Oh,
from
I
this
remember.
woman,
I remember. I remember one time I've been told no. I remember exactly one time I've been told no. I could tell y'all the story. I remember this person too, and if they hear this story, they gonna laugh. So, chilling with this girl, and me and her were childhood friends. Like when I say childhood friends, I'm talking about like I used to walk to her house because I used to stay in the neighborhood. It was like a project right behind our neighborhood, like in walking distance. And this girl used to stay in the project behind us, or whatever. So I literally used to walk all the way to her house. She used to come outside sometimes. And sometimes she's like, let's go to your house. Walk all the way back out. Like we kids doing this shit. This is our childhood. You feel me? We never like, of course I had liked her. That's the reason why I'm walking to her house and talking to her on the phone every day and all of this stuff. You know, I liked her. You feel me? This is one of them red girls, Brent. This is when I like them red girls. So fast forward, this high school now, like we in high school. And I'm chilling with her at that same project one day with one of my homeboys. And one of my homeboys had this small little Mazda Miata, Sharp. His name Sharp. We had a small little car. So I end up chilling with the girl again, getting reacquainted with the girl again, because he was chilling with one of her homegirls. And me and her just chilling one day, we just chilling. We been like reminiscing about when we were younger and stuff. And we just started like hugging like we always wanted to do when we was little, but we never did. And we started kissing and stuff like that. I was like, shit, like, let's get in the car and like, let's do something. She was like, dang, no, I'm sorry. I don't have sex in cars. And that's the one time I remember a girl told me no. She was like, I don't have sex in cars. I was like, damn. You know what I mean? I was like, damn. But it killed me because, I mean, I was happy because I felt like, damn, we on that level all of a sudden, just out the blue. One day I just come and we hit it off. Like never, but like, all this time, this is what I wanted to do to you. I never got a kiss in our childhood. Never got a kiss. You feel me? And this day when we just chilling, I'm talking about this is a tongue kiss. Like we about to go to the third base. Like we rounding bases. You feel me? Outside, chilling on my homeboy car. You feel me? And I'm like, let's get in the car. Like it's going that fast. Like we kissing, like making out. Like I'm like, let's get in the car. She's like, no, damn. She's like, I don't have sex in cars. I was like, for real? Like we could just. She was like, nah. I don't have sex in cars. I was like, okay, that mean a lot to me, but that was like a goal. Like I can't wait to get get this money this weekend. And by that time, the vibe wasn't just there no more. Like we never had sex. Me and her never had sex. But yeah, that was one time I remember distinctively. Yeah.
I be saying no, and I say no hard. Most of the time people respect it, but he didn't. And basically, get back to the story, the reason why I said he was narcissistic, because that's kind of the attitude he had. Nobody tells me no type of thing. And he didn't have to say it out of his mouth, but you could just feel that energy that it was like, no, like who you talking to? Like, you know who you talking to? Like, you know who I am type of thing. He had that type of energy about him.
I feel like that. I feel like bringing it back to even to her, me and her with her childhood, our childhood. Like I always would have waited on until she was ready. I would have that, and that's why I don't get told. I feel like that's what I mean more so when I say I don't get told no. It's because I always wait till that person ready. You know what I mean? I don't really never be trying, and that's what I mean by when that person called me. They know our energy already there. You feel what I'm saying? Like they know. You feel what I'm saying? Like. That's what I mean.
I wouldn't. I don't experience sex like that.
That's what I mean. Like,
I got
you already there with each other. Like, all we got to do is just like look at each other a certain way, make sure ain't nobody else around us to get it on type shit. That's how it used to be when I'm 18. Like, they couldn't wait to have. The girls was fast as fuck.
Yeah. But also when I was that age, I feel like guys knew that I wasn't really gonna have sex. Like I would fool around with them sometimes, but it wouldn't get there. And at the same time, I think a lot of them was scared to have sex with me because I was a virgin. So it was kind of like, I don't want to break you type of thing. like I was fragile. Like, I don't want to break you type of thing. Like,
right.
Yeah, and my whole thing is like, there's no way that I'm the only virgin that y'all have ever been with.
I pop. This might be vulgar. I ain't gonna talk about that.
Yeah, don't. Yeah. But anyways, he was narcissistic that way
I can't
because,
remember.
and I really and truly think that he really felt like nobody was gonna tell him no type of thing, and I really think that people either they didn't tell him no or he didn't take no, basically, because he was a rapist. He
Man,
definitely. Yeah, did you not hear what I just said? What he did was rape. That was rape. That was a blatant rape. I just didn't look at it like that because I didn't want to look at it like that during that time. But to fast forward, like the relationship definitely went on longer than it should have. I should have been left him alone or whatever. But it was a lot of stuff that it was a lot of feelings that I was having that wasn't getting validated by the people around me, by people that I was, looking to, like, to figure this out, because I've never been in a situation like this. I want to know what y'all feel, like, what you think this is, like, what you mean, how you feel about this. And then it wouldn't be serious to them. The stuff that I thought was like a red flag wouldn't be red flags to them. Because people think that a person, when they're persistent, when you tell them I don't want to talk to you and they pop up, and he would like come to my house and he would like bring stuff, he would bring gifts, he would bring like stuff that I liked and stuff like that, because it was like, oh, I'm coming like in peace, so you can forgive me and stuff. And I feel like they would see that and they would think, oh, like, he a good dude, like, because
that's why I did it to you.
because he was definitely abusive, because that was something that he would do a lot of the times, and I wouldn't want it. Like, I literally would just like leave it where he put it. A lot of times I just wasn't receptive of a lot of stuff that he would do, and he just did not care. That did not faze him. It was kind of like he was in a relationship by himself, and he was very much okay with it being like that. He never wanted me to break up with him. When I would be like, I'm done, that was the only thing I could do to have control in that situation, was to leave him alone. And like I said, the relationship went on, and it happened again. Him not taking no for answer, but this time I was sick. And he took advantage of that. So after that, I stopped talking to him. Me and him wasn't together or whatever, but we were still talking to each other. Because like I said, it was something that I've never like experienced, especially not like that. I'm not gonna say never experienced, because I'll say that I have been, I guess you could say, molested when I was a kid. But when you're a kid, you process it different. And because it's with other kids, so you process it different. But I got out of the situation, but the way that I got out, I had to tell him, like, if you don't leave me alone, I'm gonna tell my stepdad what you did. For him to 100% like back away. And then even after that, he would like message me certain things or whatever, and I'm just like, why are you being weird? Like, this is weird.
Right.
Like, he was weird. So I had to block him. That's why I said I had to block him everywhere. And when I see his name pop up, I block him immediately. If it's on a new page and I see his name pop up, I block him.
Though, I had a problem with narcissistic too, because at certain times, not with certain people, it's just the person I love. Like any other body else, I'm telling you, it just be like nothing. Like, it's just this one person that I could think of that I was like that with. And
where you couldn't cut them, where you couldn't leave them alone?
No, I'm about to tell you, like, it's like when they would, I'm thinking, like, I used to think, like, when they block me, that means go harder. You know what I'm saying?
That was him. And then he had this mentality, I'm a boxer, basically. So it's like, you don't, when it's a fight, you don't give up. You just keep doing it. You keep going type of, he had that mentality, like, there's no losing. Everything is going to be a win, and I'm going to get whatever I want type of thing.
Right. And the only way that I would stop, or that the only thing that will make me kick into me that, no, you serious, is if you had to say that, like, say it just like that. Like, no, like, no, I'm serious, Damian. Like, stop calling me. That for some reason you got to say that'll kick everything in, and now I'm regular again. You feel me? Like, oh, I got to treat you like I treat them. That's all I need to know. You feel me? Now I can do that. You
Yeah,
know what I'm
but I would definitely be like, no, don't come see me. He did not take that as a let me just leave you alone. It took a while for him to stop talking to me.
Because
He would
that's why
still do it. If I popped up on his radar, he would still talk to me like nothing happened.
that's why I can't say that I'm narcissistic, because I only have like one event of that in my life, of being like that in my life, or like one relationship rather. Prior to that relationship, it was nothing for me to go through these emotions and not act that way. You feel me? And since that relationship, it's nothing for me to feel those way and not treat that person like that, or care enough to treat that person like that, or or
Care
abuse them, or receive the abuse, or trade the abuse. You know what I'm trying to say? But in this one relationship that I could admit that I damn sure have done those things, but in other relationships I haven't even cared to do those things. And I don't.
What is the reason? Like, if some
that's what I'm trying to say. Like, I don't understand why, and I think some of it is, and I hate to do this because this is about to be narcissistic too. This is about to be narcissistic too, but I think some of it is them, man. I think it's them. I think they playing the game too. Like, that's why I think.
So you think that when
like
somebody tell you that they don't want to talk to you, they telling you go harder?
No,
like you gotta try harder.
Not that. Like, say for instance, they do it in a way, right, that finally registered me. Like, I'm gonna, all right, I ain't talking to you, right? Right? And I'm doing that. I ain't talking to you. I ain't bothering you, right? But then when you see me, it's like you want me to bother you. You see what I'm saying?
By doing what though? What do they do to make you feel like that?
Well, I ain't gonna say see me. They say, yeah, see me, or like they let you know they want you to bother them.
How? Like by saying, hey, how you doing?
Yeah, or
I got you. I was very much not like that. Like
allowing you to do something that they wouldn't allow you to do before, or something like that. Just they'll let you know some type of, they'll let you know. You know what I'm trying to say? I can't say how, but they'll let you know. I can't answer that, to be honest. To be honest, I can't, but they'll let you know they want you to bother them. You know what I'm trying to say? Or no, I'm sure.
I get what you're saying, but I don't get the mindset. Because it's like if somebody say they don't want you to bother them, like what? Like why do you think that they do? Like I literally would block him.
Is all right? Say for instance, they say, and I ain't trying to take up for nobody. I'm really just talking it out. Like, say for instance, like you are not bothering them no more. They say it in a way that you like, all right, fuck it, I ain't gonna bother her no more. Then fuck it, And it'd be a whole year you ain't fuck with them, right, or something. And they just make themselves, they all of a sudden they keep on you just seeing them, like for a year you don't see them at all, and then now all of a sudden you seeing them everywhere. Like you was blocked and now you ain't blocked no more, or something, or like you just realizing like why I'm seeing them, or like why, you know what I'm saying?
Like I literally had a bunch of pages. I would block him on every page. He would find me on another page. I gotta block that page. He would find me. Like it would be stuff like that. As soon as I see him pop up, I would have to block him. Cause like you said, like, and I really think that that's how he think too. He thought too, like if I see you, that means you want me to see you. But how
right.
But how does that translate to you like that?
Because like I couldn't see you.
Because a lot of the time, the reason why you see a person, especially on social media, is because these social media, they know that you've had relationships with these people. So of course you're going to see them. They're going to show you their profile and stuff like that.
Yeah, but
he definitely was. He was crazy. He definitely was. What Brent did, Van? What he did? I ain't heard it.
I had covered my head and I did like this, and that motherfucker agreed like that. But I said, no, pick up on it.
No, but he was crazy. And I feel like it was the narcissism was he really just didn't believe that I would not want to be with him. He really did. And it didn't matter what I said. It was like, you still love me type of thing. And it's like, no, I don't. I don't want to be around you.
That nigga.
But it just didn't register to him like that. I really feel like he thought like that too. But I haven't seen him in person. So I don't ever see my exes like that in person. But if I pop up on your Facebook, it's not because I want to. It's because Facebook is, or the social media is showing you me.
Well, how
when
you block him, he ain't supposed
That's what I'm saying. I have multiple pages. I've created multiple pages. So if he saw one of those pop up, I may not block him right away, but if I see him, like, you know how you create a new page and they'll start showing you people you may know, I block him right away when I see him. But if I don't and he see me first, he will reach out.
Yeah, but you know what's so funny though? When you were talking about blocking, I remember when before I changed my algorithm and stuff that on my social media accounts, blocking, like you had women and stuff on threads bashing men for blocking them and all that type of stuff, and they were upset and stuff like that they were blocked. I'm like, nobody want to continue to deal with it, your stupid ass.
Van said her old Facebook had unblocked her whole block list at one point. It wasn't her doing. And honestly, those social media sites, they listen to you. They be hearing what you're saying. They see who you talk to. They see who you're around. So they show you those people constantly.
Right.
It's just like they would start drama because it would be sometimes that I would be with me and him was together. And I would go on Facebook and the first thing I see is like a girl post, she make a post on Facebook, his comment being flirtatious and stuff like that while we was together. And it wouldn't be something I would never have to go look for the stuff that he was doing. Like every single time I got on Facebook, I would see what he was doing until he blocked me on there. He blocked me first because he didn't want me to see him cheating, basically. Crazy. And then he unblocked me. And that's why he had the access to reach out, because he had me blocked. And the reason why he did that was because that means he had the power. If I block you whenever I'm ready to see or talk to you again, I can do that because I'm the one who did it. And that's kind of how he used to think.
I see what you're saying.
Probably still do. And then after talking to his friend, I learned I'm not the only person. He's done a lot of that stuff too.
But after all the narcissists,
but don't two dudes with that, like that's some weirdo shit. Like
they still friends too.
Weirdo shit.
It is weird. It was weird.
Right. After all the narcissist things I done did in my life, though, y'all, I can swear I really am at a point in my life where I don't want to be that. Like, you know what I mean?
Because that junk be ruining people's life.
But D, that's self-realization. You realized it.
Yeah, he don't. A lot of people, narcissistic people, don't think that nothing is wrong with the way they do things. And like, I would just sit and listen to the way he would talk and the way he processed things, and it was just weird. Like, I never met nobody like that. It was crazy. Even his friend wasn't that bad like that. I think he was just obsessed with me because he felt like I was the best he ever had, and he couldn't let it go.
He had this image. He had this image.
Yeah.
But see, that's some scary shit, though.
It is.
The reason why that's some scary shit, because them the motherfuckers and stuff like working in an environment that I work in, even with co-workers and around inmates and stuff like that, I've been able to hone in and pick up on those type of tendencies and stuff like that with a lot of people and stuff. That's why I'm very selective now who I date, who I talk to, who I give time and energy and stuff like that too. Because people who are just like how BOONIE is talking about, viewers, those are the type of people that will kill you.
Yes.
They have this mentality. If I can't,
and they're gonna justify it too.
Right. They're like when you
It gonna build it. It's
like
in their mind really be justified too.
Right.
Yeah.
Like BOONIE, when you were talking about he raped you or whatever, he was saying himself, man, she knew she didn't want that shit. I don't know why.
Yeah, he didn't believe that I didn't want him. He really didn't. I could tell that he didn't believe it.
Yeah, man, that's some. I'm sorry that happened to you. I really am and stuff, but
like I said, like you full of yourself part right there, I think. Because you there for yourself when you can't feel when somebody don't want you.
And like when I don't want you,
it don't feel good.
I don't want you hard.
So you had to feel that. You could feel when somebody don't want you, they feel bad. Like you feel like, damn, that person, they didn't want me. Like you can feel it.
And I think too, that's too when you're rejected in a way like that, you don't process it like, oh, this person don't want me. Some people don't process it like, oh, this person don't want me. I gotta try harder. It's like some people just don't even see the rejection when you reject them.
Some people go even as far as like just creating a whole scenario in their head that did not take place. Shit, man,
people justified in.
People when you're dealing with someone who was truly narcissistic, like we were talking about empathy, like that guy had no empathy at all.
None.
It's like in sales, a no is not a no, but it's a not right now.
And you know what? He had a lot of jobs like that.
Lord, no,
like he really did. He had jobs like that.
This sounds like some Law and Order SVU shit right now.
Like he did.
Oh,
he really like had that mentality.
Oh my gosh.
And I kind of feel like it was a situation where it's like, bro, we done been talking for 7 years, bro. You ain't being consistent with me. You not about to tell me no. That's how I feel like. I really feel like that's how it was. Because people know me, like, yeah, I feel like most of the dudes that I've dealt with, like for instance, the dude that I was talking about when we was on the Friends with Benefits, where I say me and him was friends with benefits, never pressures me to do nothing. And we could make plans, and if I cancel, it's cool. Like it's cool. Like I've never experienced that except for with him. And it was a lot, but I got out of the situation.
Thank God.
And yeah. I haven't seen him since, and I'm still dodging. Every time I see that page pop up, I'm blocking.
Yeah, I gotta tell you, man.
That man scary. I ain't gonna lie.
It is, but let's move on to the next segment because we've been talking for a long time. The wealthy health segment. For the wealthy health segment, I want each of you to give one thing you feel people need to do to protect themselves from succumbing to the abuse they may deal with in a relationship with narcissists.
If I suggest nothing else, this one book was given to us when we were going through our training phases and stuff like that before we became federal law enforcement officers. The name of the book is called The Game Criminals Play. Let me explain to y'all how deep this book is. If you read not another piece of literature, I encourage everybody who's listening, even for everybody and stuff on our show, to go read that book, The Game Criminals Play. That book is 95% of everything that we talked about tonight when it comes to narcissistic people. The manipulation, the lack of empathy, the mind games, the gifts, just the overall manipulation of them trying to, woo you and control the narrative of what's going on. Like when BOONIE was talking about how her dude would come in with gifts and all that, and that was a front. A big damn front and stuff like that, to have people on his side just in case something were to go wrong, they would be pressuring her to make her go back to him. That's what the motherfuckers do.
Yeah, because it ain't gonna help them just to charm you. And plus, I was like, I wasn't really the typical person. I was calling out every single thing he did. It just that, like I said, I wasn't getting my feelings validated. So I was like, maybe it's me. Maybe I'm tripping. When you have situations where you feel like you going crazy when you with somebody, the same thing happened. The same thing we was talking about the story time from last week. It could be, it doesn't necessarily have to be a romantic partner. It's your friends and family and people like that. It's not only in that it's not only in your romantic life. It could be your family and your friends, and they have these charming personalities where you be like, well, dang, they this way, like this is how they are most of the time. But sometimes they have moments where they're a terrible person to you, but you overlook it because they have the potential to be a good person, or they're good to you most of the time. And also, it doesn't help them to just charm you. They gotta charm everybody around you. So if you do have like the mindset that I had, you got the people in your ear like, yeah, it's not that bad. Like, that's not, he at least he not cheating, at least he not, and he definitely had cheated. And I still was getting paid, told.
And Van said, what's funny is they go after the strong ones to make them.
They do.
You end up fighting to get that person, they can be that person they can be, just to realize it never existed. I went through that.
They do, because it's not a rewarding feeling to go after somebody who's weak, because anybody could manipulate them. So they do target people that they see as strong, and they try to break you down because that makes them feel like they're powerful.
Like, yeah. Like when we did the story time and we were talking about, like that girl damn near almost made me her bitch. I went nuts after her. I was so angry, so violent all the time, lashing out.
I was the same way when I was in my relationship.
Yeah, so now I ended up I didn't share this with anybody during the story time, but I ran into a similar situation with a young lady who had my curiosity and stuff. But when she started showing those signs, the obnoxiousness, the rudeness, talking to me like she was my mom and stuff like that, I said, "Oh yeah, girl, you done." You done.
Excuse me. Yeah, she need to be done too.
Yeah, she done. She done. The sad part about it is and stuff like that. She's so full of shit that she's thinking that I'm gonna call or text her or or what I just finished making. And man, girl, get the fuck out of here, girl. This version of myself, nobody can fuck with.
No better now. I definitely know better.
Because
that would bring me to mind boundaries.
Yeah, boundaries. I definitely had boundaries, but shoot, niggas was helping him break them boundaries.
Boundaries at least gonna help you identify, like, damn, okay, this that gonna help you collect them red flags to have your premise of why you gonna stop fucking with them. And even when they come with their attached, you got your stack of evidence.
Yeah, so basically, when you set boundaries, you gotta stick to them. Don't let nobody make you lower them, or don't let nobody make you change.
So like you say, they got good tendencies, and if they had them tendencies, and you feel like they are a good person, but even if they are narcissistic, it's that how you draw that line between that good person and that they shooting that good person and that narcissistic person. Those boundaries help you keep that, help you see, all right, now they get narcissistic now. All right, this is good side, this is narcissistic side. The boundaries, the stuff that you don't allow them to do, like how you say, you don't allow him to get you alone no more, to be able to touch you a certain way. That's the boundaries. So if you're gonna be a good person and you can stay within those boundaries, then I see that you can talk to me in front of everybody and not have to, get me by yourself, or I see that over time,
And I think that too was why I didn't get sucked in, because I never was like trying to be with him for real. Like, I wasn't gonna move in or nothing like that. I wasn't living with him, is what I'll say. When you're living with them, I feel like it's a lot harder to get out of the situation, especially if you're not in a position where you can move or you can get out of it. But and then plus, like, even though I didn't know what narcissism was, I knew what bad behavior was. I knew what toxic behavior was, and I would
Right.
call it out. But I feel like you just have to get out of the mindset that these people are going to change. A narcissist is never going to change unless they realize themselves that they're narcissistic and they want to change. That's the only thing. And even if a person isn't a narcissist, you can influence a person to change, but you cannot make them change. You cannot love them better. It don't
Right.
matter how much you love them, how much you do, whatever, they're not going to get better. They're not going to change. It's actually going to make them worse because you're rewarding them for being a bad person.
Yep. It is looking for that hole to find to make you feel like you ain't good enough.
Right. I mean, that never happened with me, but
like feel yourself. Like I'm saying, like if they give you something
I know
that
what you mean.
better, as soon as you do that better, they're gonna search for something else.
Yeah, they never satisfy. You never gonna be able to. And then another thing too that I realized when I got out of a relationship, he never complimented nothing about me. He never gave me compliments on how I look, about nothing. Like my love language is words of affirmations, and I feel like narcissists be knowing exactly who you are because they study people. It may not seem like it. They know exactly what it takes to make you feel loved and stuff like that, and they ain't gonna do it. I think a lot of times they do know your love language. They do know how to get to you. And like I said, for me, I was going through a lot during that time. It was a lot that was going on. So I can't pinpoint one thing or one reason why I stayed with him or whatever. It was just something that I never been through, and I went through it and I got through it. And I've been working on myself to get better. But I feel like just when you're dating people, you have to recognize red flags as red flags. Red is not yellow. It's not a caution. It's not a slow down. It's not a maybe we can work that out. Red is red. Red is no. Red is this is who this person is.
Red.
That's red. Like, look at them red flags as a stop sign. It's red for a reason. It's called a red flag for a reason. And if you have, like Damian said, if you have boundaries and that person is consistently breaking those boundaries or crossing that line, they don't respect your boundaries. They're not going to, and you don't need to be with somebody like that.
Right.
But I think awareness, that's really what you need to be aware. And to also trust your instincts, trust how you feel about the situation, trust your instincts. And sometimes when you talk to outside people, some things that are crazy to you may not be to them. Some things that are abusive to you may not be abusive to them, because a lot of people are desensitized and they don't see a lot of things as abuse because it's normal. It's things that they see all the time. So that's not a deal breaker for them. So you have to trust your instincts. You have to get to a point where you don't doubt yourself enough that you don't need people validating your feelings. Like, I went from being a person who didn't need people to validate my feelings, and I should have known in that situation when I kept asking for validation that it wasn't good for me, because I've never been somebody who needed my feelings to be validated. If this is how I feel about something, that's what it is. But in that situation, I definitely, it made me not trust, like, doubt my judgment. Like, am I really, like, is it really happening? Is this really happening? Am I tripping? Did he mean this? Or, like, when it's like that, if it's like that, you're a person who you felt like you didn't need your feelings validated, and you're pretty good at, like, making decisions and, guiding yourself right. And you get in a situation, somebody, and you're questioning yourself all the time, you're questioning your instincts, you're questioning your feelings, maybe you need to evaluate that situation and get out of it.
Right.
Because, not like Van said, narcissistic people don't prey on weak people most of the time. A lot of times they go after strong people and they try to break them. And thankfully he didn't break me, but I did have to get myself together, and I still got some work to do. But if you've been in a situation like that and you're trying to get back to you can't overcome it, regardless of how bad it is. You just have to work on you you have to, you know, build yourself back up because they will break you down in those situations. And you just have to become sure of yourself, to have the confidence to know this is who I am, this is what I want. If somebody isn't willing to give me that, then I'm not going to be with them. And like I said, romantic, familiar, and friendships, it don't just got to be your partner. Because a lot of times you have narcissistic family.
Definitely.
And
Oh my God.
that's harder to deal with because they are family, but at the same time, you don't have to take the stuff that they try to put you through.
Mm-hmm.
Any more advice? Any of you guys got any more advice?
Yeah, when it comes to family, it's different because that's probably where you mirror yourself. You see yourself
Right.
through your family, through the people you love the most, especially through mother and fathers. If you have a narcissistic mother or father, you know, of course some of that shit don't rub off on you a little bit. And it's okay. You know what I'm saying? I feel like it's okay because now you see yourself. You know what I'm saying? So you know exactly what to do to correct it. You know exactly what other people went through with you. When the people you did it to, now you know what you went through. Because that's how it happened to me. You know, I was like, oh my God, like dealing with one of my family members. I was like, damn, that's how I made that person feel? Damn. You know, like, oh my God, that was messed up. And that's the thing that made me be like, damn, not saying that necessarily narcissistic, but toxicity, definitely toxic, being toxic. Like, oh my, you know, I damn sure would have did somebody like that, like how they doing me. Damn, I done did somebody like this before, you know, type thing. And just identifying it, like how you said earlier, being able to identify it other than having boundaries, you got to be able to identify that junk and be able to be like, okay, that's okay. You know, and not okay to continue it. It's okay that now that I know, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's how you separate yourself from, because like you said, BOONIE, some people gonna be narcissistic to the end. They not gonna change. You know what I mean? They don't intend on doing it. They tend on collecting victims for the rest of their life. Intend on doing. So
people actually think that people who are narcissistic don't have souls. And like the empath in me don't want to believe that, but after seeing the narcissistic people that I've experienced in my life, I mean, because they keep it always is a pattern. Like unless they recognize and be like, you know, this is how I am. I want to fix it. But I feel like those ones that don't see a problem.
Right. Do you think they've been like that since birth? Do you think they always been like that?
I think narcissism starts when you're a kid. Yeah, for sure. I don't think it just comes out of nowhere. I think it develops because I've seen like some signs of narcissism in my nephew. Like just by looking at him, like whenever he's getting in trouble, his pupils are dilated. Like he's excited. You yelling at him and you look at his face. You know how most kids, when you yell at them, it hurt their feelings. Not him. It makes him. It excites him. Like I'm just looking at him and I'm like, yeah. Whenever it's like he enjoys getting in trouble. He enjoys making people upset, so they yelling at him and stuff like that. He gets a thrill out of it. And he's a kid. It's hard to look at a kid and be like, they narcissists, but I see the tendencies.
That's deep.
Borderline fucking psychotic.
That's
another one.
Seriously, that's deep to me because
the only reason I said borderline psychotic, when you start listening to, not listening, but when you start reading some of these guys' profiles and they paperwork and stuff in my line of work, yeah, like their environment kind of molds and grooms them into becoming something, you know, that type of person. And sometimes, you know, people are just born with the brains wired wrong. But you know, it is what it is.
Yeah, some people are born with, you know, mental health issues, learning disabilities, stuff like that. So yeah, some of them might have tendencies too. And I kind of feel like when people know that they have a mental illness, they weaponize it a lot of the times too, because it's like, you gotta give me grace because you know that I got because I'm schizophrenic. So whenever I have an episode, if you don't treat me a certain type of way, you're not a good friend.
Mm.
And I feel like they manipulate people like that as well. Huh?
You feel like that's builds narcissism? Stuff like that is
I
building.
I feel like not necessarily build, they already be narcissists, a narcissist. Like I definitely think it happens when you're a kid. Like it happens from childhood. And it could be the trauma, the experiences and stuff that they go through in their life, and they develop this I guess you could say this narcissistic characteristic to deal with that, to deal with what's going on in their life. And they never they don't recognize it as that.
Especially like how y'all said earlier, that inflated sense of, what you say, inflated sense of self or stuff like that.
To self, yeah.
Like people can make you, like you said, as a child, pump you up like that.
Yeah. People, I would say people, if I had those like capabilities, I could have been like that because I got pumped up as a child. But at the same time, I didn't want to look perfect to people. I didn't want people to see me as perfect. It was something that I didn't like. I didn't want it because that didn't leave room for me to be human. If you see me as perfect, I'm not human to you. And so when I make mistakes, you disappointed. And it's like, but I'm regular, just like everybody else. Why, when I make mistakes, it's worse than another person?
That makes sense though, why people don't know. Because if you doing it at childhood, they don't know no better than to just do.
Right.
That's like you said, if they've been doing it since a child, they might really don't know. I ain't gonna say they don't know no better, because they know better now. They done read something now, but they don't know other way now.
Yeah, Van said they're created, and I believe it. They are.
Right. Yeah, you're right. That makes sense. That makes sense.
That's why you gotta be careful when it comes to your kids. Like, you want them to be confident, but you don't want them to feel like they're better than everybody and they treating everybody like that. Or you don't want them to see the world as a game. People see life as a game. Like, it's about who I'm gonna conquer, who I'm gonna beat, who I'm gonna have power over.
And you got to be careful of what you let them see, happen to you.
Yeah,
let people treat you bad and shit like that, or treat you,
right,
or whatever the stuff you do, because that can have an effect on them too.
That's true. You gotta be aware when you have kids of like the influence, the impact that you have on them, because you are your kids' role models. People like to put that on celebrities, but your kids gonna copy you before they do Nicki Minaj.
That's a fact. Even the fact that you listen to Nicki Minaj, she wouldn't have known about Nicki Minaj until you.
Right. That's true. You expose them.
That's some real shit.
Van said, I definitely thought that as a child, and it was wild because I also thought I was below dirt. So you thought you was better than everybody, but at the same time, you didn't have like that confidence in yourself. Like, I never thought I was better than everybody. Like I said, I used to think that I was smarter than everybody, but it would be because of like how I process things. The way that I process things was different, and it would always like cause miscommunication in like my friendships and stuff, because people didn't really understand how I process things. And I have that issue still to this day, like sometimes, because of the way that I think is different. It's most of the time different from everybody else. So yeah, I thought that I was smarter, but better, nah.
I had at like 9 years old, 10 years old, my mom married started dating a guy that was in the army, a retired army sergeant. And he instilled a different mindset in me, in a good way. I mean, he kind of he got narcissistic tendencies now that I look back on it, but I mean, he the things that he instilled in me was like good for me, like especially as a sickle cell warrior. He instilled in me like, you can do shit, you can do things, like believe in yourself type stuff, you know. But I ain't gonna say it was inflated. He wasn't taught to be inflated, but it was taught to be like, you can do it. Like, you know what I mean?
Mm.
Do it. Don't at least don't think you can't. Why? He like questioning why you can't do that. Why? Cause what? You feel me? Type thing.
Mm-hmm.
So
I
it's
wish
like,
I was somebody, because I
yeah,
used to be trying to do everything. My mom be like, you need to sit down.
yeah, not like I'm the best, but why I can't? You know what I mean?
Right. I got the same mindset. Like, I could do anything. Like, nobody can't tell me that I can't do this. I could do anything.
Right.
But at the same time, I'm not willing to step on people and
Right.
stuff like that to do anything.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how I feel about myself has nothing to do with nobody else. I don't feel like I need, and I do need people, and I need to get out of there thinking. I don't feel like I need anybody else to get what I want and what I feel like I can do, basically.
Yep, I understand exactly what you mean. Especially more so with age. Now,
Yeah.
especially I definitely ain't about to wrestle with y'all about that. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I always had that in me too. Like, I ain't about to wrestle with y'all about it. I know I went, but when it's my turn, I'm gonna show.
Right.
You know, I'm the best.
Van said, yeah, because I was always told, but didn't have the confidence to watch. That's why I work hard to make sure my kids can build it within themselves, because me teaching them, I guess, them can have the opposite effect. And I can honestly say their dad has a better way of enforcing it than I do.
I feel like that's when positive affirmation is really important. When the kid, a child, like when a child, when they about to go to kindergarten and shit like that.
I think the way to keep kind of like, you teach your kids empathy, to have empathy for people, so they won't think they're better than everybody. Like, you might think you're the best. Like, I might think I'm the best writer, but that doesn't mean I think I'm better than every writer. Like, I think I'm the best because I feel like nobody has my voice. Like, so I'm not competing with nobody.
Yeah, you gotta do them positive affirmations from a young age. Like them, like, you are kind, I am smart, I am unique.
And teach your kids how to be empathetic by being empathetic to them, and stop telling them.
How you teach it right there.
Stop telling them.
But you know what? Kids have empathy from the jump. Like, you
They
ever see?
do, but I feel like parents kind of take it.
Teach them, they take it, because you ever see how kids interact with each other before they know the difference between the color?
Yeah.
Some know because they done did something different to make you look at them different. You feel what I'm saying?
A lot of times it's because they're not exposed to, like, you have white kids that have never been exposed to black kids, so that when they see them, it's like, what is that?
Yep. But even then, like let's say to a pet, a baby to a pet, they don't act weird with no pet, or a puppy or a cat. They just be trying to go grab it.
Yeah, kids, they be loving and stuff, but they also have things about them that you got to correct.
Right.
Because that's natural, like, that's being a human, but it depends on how you're guided from a child, how you turn out.
Facts.
Van said, I'm the best, you're the best. You see, just this where the arrogance comes in, because she be hyping me. Kids are their own person, but also have parts of their parents in them. That's true.
That would have
like,
got
it. Nothing you do is gonna like change that you like your parents a little bit.
That will make them their own person, because they're the mix of two people that ain't never been mixed together before. And even if they did, they've been mixing at a different time, you know?
Yeah.
Even if they do come from the same parents, you know what I mean? They could be different.
You have things that are unique to you.
Yep, that's crazy, right? That's crazy.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's like you said, amazing. Because that's okay.
Right. But to move on to the next segment, which is the What Would You Do segment. We don't have any questions, but don't forget to send your questions, or if you want advice, email us at socialpsychopod@gmail.com, and we will try to answer them to the best of our ability. So moving on to the Black life segment. Life meaning living in fear every day. I want each of you to give one thing you fear about. Okay, do you have any fears when it comes to getting manipulated by a narcissist to the point of no return? Like moving forward, what are your fears about coming across a narcissistic person? Or still just knowing people like that and not being able to like distance yourself for whatever reason.
I wouldn't say to the point of no return, because I've been doing the work, and I'm going to continue to do the work. But the fear comes in the people, like I said, this whole time, just that one person who you got that, you know, you really believe, like, damn, you love that person. And like like how Van said earlier, whoever that person is that's close to you, that you really thinking that, you know, for some reason you think better of them for whatever reason, or you had that image that you can't let go of for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
That's that person. That's the fear of that person. You not being able to latch on to that idea of abandoning all of that whole idea, that whole dream. You know, that's, I mean, because that's what you got to do. It ain't no in that person. It's not. You can't.
Nope.
And that's what I'm saying. That's it right there.
What about you, Brent?
No, I already been through it one time. I know the signs now. I'm like, oh hell no, nah. Go the other way.
Van said her fear is becoming them unintentionally.
Mm.
Yeah, you do mirror who you
Yeah,
do mirror partner.
Right, because like if you're in a relationship with them, that's the only way you can be sane, honestly. The only way you can be sane in a relationship with a narcissist is to be narcissistic.
Yes, yes, yes. I think the only way, if you're in a relationship that you can't necessarily escape from immediately, I think you should introduce positive reinforcements every time, all the time, and continue yourself to do the work behind that. I ain't gonna say behind their back, but on your own, so you can continue to be innovative with these things that you throwing in.
I definitely think you should, like you said, work on yourself.
So you know it's gonna work for them. And so you know, you can measure if they really being narcissistic, if they learning something at all, or you know, is they just trying to learn this enough to use it, turn it, you know what I mean? You can always meter it. You know what I mean? If you continue to do the work for yourself.
For me, I don't really have any fears moving forward because like what Brent said, I've had experiences, so I know what to look for. I think for me, it's just putting myself in situations where I'm dating. That's gonna probably be for every topic that we talk about, because that's my biggest issue. Dating, getting out there, dating different people or whatever. And like one thing I do fear though is me basically choosing to not even do relationships, like me choosing to be by myself because I don't want to deal with stuff like that. And like me getting, because I feel like I'm at the point where I'm so comfortable being by myself. So if I started dating and like the first things that I see that I don't like, I'll say this, my fear is labeling somebody narcissistic who isn't narcissistic, because I'm on alert. Like I'm on alert all the time because I don't want to have that experience again. So labeling somebody that who isn't.
Ooh,
and like
from narcissism.
Yeah, from being traumatized. That's my fear, I'll say. And which is the reason why I haven't started dating yet, because I just be feeling like I don't even like have the energy to be sorting through people and their characteristics and all of this stuff. Like, but I do feel like I do have the radar. I could tell if it's not, or if they are, or if they're not. But at the same time, narcissistic tendencies can present themselves into everybody, since we all have them. So like having an experience with somebody and then you see it and it's like, yeah, I ain't want to deal with them, when it wasn't that they were narcissists, it's that they were basically being human. They just had a moment. That, and I feel like we all do.
Yeah,
Basically, that's my fear.
mine's too.
So if that's all, this is the end of the episode. If nobody has anything else to add, thank you all for sharing your thoughts with me and coming on this platform and sharing your experiences. And thanks to all of our viewers for watching. We'll see you in the next episode. Don't forget to email us with questions. I'm ready to get some questions, y'all. Like, I'm ready to answer some questions. So don't forget to email us with any questions you want or any advice that you want at socialpsychopod@gmail.com. We'll see y'all in the next video. Bye.